What's up, everyone? This is Chris here with Metro Restyling. I'm here with Tate from Elite Rappers. We get this question all the time: how do you use knifeless tape? So my man Tate here is going to show us how to lay it down. What do you think? Lay a rally stripe or something?
Yeah, we'll do a basic rally stripe on the hood.
All right.
Like a 6-inch rally stripe, nothing too crazy. So, of course, you got 3 styles of knifeless tape. You have a tri-line that has 3 lines in it. You have finish line, which is the white core, and then you have a design line, which is the yellow one, all right? So the design line, the yellow one, you can do like organic shapes, like cow patterns, camouflage and stuff like that. Or if you're using maybe for inlays or like on mirrors and stuff like that. So this was good for like organic shapes. The finish line, the white core, that's good for like straight long passes. Like if you're doing rally stripes down the hood where you don't want the line to kind of maybe swerve a little bit. It's good for just straight lines. And then the tri-line has the design lines in it, but being that it's a thicker wire or a thicker strip, it doesn't really get wavy when you lay it, all right? So you can use all 3 on different styles of stripes that you do, but we'll go about using just 2 of them for today. One easy method is trying to find the center part of the hood, okay? Looking for the center, yeah, you can kind of see a faint body line that might be going down the center, but not all cars have that detailed line, all right? So I'll take a piece of tape, I'll tack it to one side of the hood here, go to the other side, fold it over, come to this edge, trim it flush, just kind of tack this down here. So I trimmed it flush there, and now I'm just gonna fold it over. And then butt it up the same way I had it on the other side, right up to the edge. To the edge, and then set my mark here. And that will give me my center. So I know that's the center mark of my hood, all right? So I can take my tri-line. Tri-line comes in 2 different widths, I want to say. This is the 6 mil, and it comes in a 9 mil. So that would be just the thickness of in between the lines. So I'm gonna go up here. I want to give myself about maybe 2 to 3 inches of a maybe pigtail, you want to call it, at the top side, so it'll give you some help getting it started.
Is there a reason you chose tri-line?
Yeah, because we're going to make a little space in the middle.
Okay.
So I'm going to eyeball it here. Of course, we have our hard body line here that we're going to set our center of our tri-line there and then work all that down. I have to adjust it slightly.
Is there a reason you left so much?
Yeah, because say if I'm working up here and I break these lines and I can't start it up there, I can always come back down here and get this side started, being that I have a lot more extra to kind of maybe play with down here. And then after I have it laid, I'm gonna go back with my finger and just gently press up against the line, kind of make sure that that line is set in place. Because sometimes when you set your vinyl and pop it up, it may end up lifting up on you.
Gotcha.
So we can remove our template tape. And then a fun fact, let me see, a dollar bill is 6 inches. So if you get on the job site and you don't got a tape measure, you can use a dollar bill, and then you kind of use that as a reference of where you can kind of set your lines. So this time I'm going to use a finish line to run my line on this side. So I kind of have a rough estimate. If I had like a wax pencil, I could mark here and really set that mark, or we're just going to eyeball that. So we have that set. Put my dollar bill away.
That's clever.
Yeah, a little fun fact. And then I'm just going to eyeball this. Oh, a little off.
Is a $10 bill 60 inches?
Yeah.
All right.
A $100 bill is about 65 inches.
Got it.
Now go back with my finger, gently push this down, set that in place. So the finish line, you can't break it with your hand necessarily. You're gonna have to go back with your knife and cut the string. The design line has the purple wire in it. You can break that with your hands. So I have that. So I gotta do a line on the other side. So I gotta bring back my $100 bill here. Use that as my reference.
That ain't no 100.
Shh, they can't see it on the camera. So I have that set there. I got a reference of that there. Tack that. Give yourself a little bit of a pigtail. You need that little extra. Take my dollar back. Kind of eyeball this again. Set my anchor there. I want to cut this. Go back with my finger and just gently push down. You don't want to push too hard because it ends up moving on you sometimes. So I'm just going to put a little bit of pressure and then come back with a little bit of more pressure behind that.
So the design line, is that the one that always comes like kind of wiggly from 3M, but if you put tension on it, it straightens up?
Yeah, each one comes a little bit wiggly sometimes, but if you put a little tension behind it, it kind of straightens out the wire.
So it's not defective, right?
Not defective, but if you put too much tension, typically the wire may pop out from the green.
Makes sense.
Okay, so we have our lines set, okay? So I got some film from the back. I cut it to about maybe a 1 inch bigger than what it was, so it's about maybe about 14 inches now. Give myself a little bit of bleed on either side. So I'm just gonna pre-roll this top side. Just lightly tack it to the top. Take my 2 fingers, put it into the edge of the core, take my thumb and my pointer finger, grab the edge here, and then just kind of remove the paper. Get rid of the excess, toss that underneath the car. You'll get to that later. I can lift this and kind of reposition this slightly. Put a little tension to it. You want to make glass. Glass is what you're going for. So just kind of tack those edges, come back up here. Just reposition these edges a little bit. Ooh, ooh. So my anchor wasn't that good. So anchor, maybe just tack that top edge. But see, it kind of popped up on me down here, so I want to just reposition this. So just kind of tack that down, really make sure that's there.
You can see all the errors that can happen, right?
Yep.
It's real life, baby.
So pull this tight again. Pull it tight. Then I'll take my squeegee. If I have some soapy water, I'll typically maybe spray that on my squeegee. This helps 2 reasons with the gliding of the squeegee, and then it kind of shows you where you've been. So I'm just gonna start right in the middle, work my way up where the tri-line tape is, and then work my way just back and forth. And then when I get to my knifeless tape on the edge there, I stop. There's no need to continue. So I have that side laid. Go to the other side. I got a little bit of a wrinkle there. Lift, reset that. Just squeegee everything else out. Now this front side, give it a little more tension.
Why do you use your palm? Does it distribute the film?
Use my palm for like a straight edge. So when I pinch this material, typically the wrinkles go to that pinch. So if I can hold it, kind of just make a straight edge, it helps sometimes to be able to make it go flat.
So even tension?
Yeah. So I'm going to start at the top and then kind of work my way down. So with the tri-line here, I really just need to pull the 2 outside strings, but I'm going to pull all 3 at the same time. So I'm just going to fold it over, I want to pinch the film gently. Typically when your nail turns white, that'll be enough pressure. And then I want to try to pop the strings through the green, as so. So when I pull through, I want to pull all three all the way through, and you can see as it cuts. You want to keep the knifeless tape low. You don't want to keep it high. Keep it low profile, and then you want to keep it straight, because if you angle it, it may go swervy on you. You just want to make sure it stays straight with your line. So when you pull your knifeless out, you'll have your string, and then you'll have your remnants left over from all the green parts of the knifeless. So you want to remove your centerpiece, and then you'll have one piece underneath the vinyl on this side, and then another piece of the vinyl underneath here as well that you need to remove. And then after you remove those two pieces, go back with your finger gently and make sure that these edges are set, because typically sometimes people leave it up and then they'll end up getting dirt. And if you notice where I had explained about making sure that your blade or your string stays straight, you can see the little curve or the swerve that happened in the line when I had stopped. And now I have my two outside strings. I'm gonna lift, fold over, pinch this, pop, tug that through, all right? And then continue my pull all the way down. And then once again, we're gonna remove our vinyl. Well, that piece is gonna take that green piece with it, but then we have this other little green piece left over as well. Go back, make sure you rub this edge down. Now go to the other side, repeat.
Now Tate, on this side here, can you simulate a broken string? You know, like how can they salvage this if they got this far?
So if we're going halfway down, and typically the line doesn't really break with the finish line because this string's a lot more thicker. It doesn't really break as often as like the design line does. So if we were pulling this and for some odd reason it got cut, it broke mid-panel, right? Well, luckily you still have that line of that knifeless that's there, right? So you can really just kind of maybe define that edge. And then you're gonna have to hand cut it to kind of get that line started again. So you'll just gently push down. You have the knifeless tape there, so you're not gonna cut the car. You can kind of see where it kind of cut in. You can kind of see where it kind of like a little nick right there. So with that, you're gonna kind of gently go back with your knife. Always a fresh blade for something like this. And then you're just gonna gently just get a cut here. Take my fingernail, just remove that. And then, like it never happened. So now we gotta finish trimming. We have a trim that we have to do up here, the trim at the bottom of the hood, and the trim at the top of the bumper here. So at the top of the hood, we're gonna roll this edge slightly, and then we're just gonna trim flush. I'm gonna take my blade to the bottom of the hood there and just gently ride that blade across. I'll stop, and then I can remove this, and then gently set this as well. Go back my finger, make sure that all this is set. You really want to make sure you got a straight cut there because your customer is always going to be looking at least at that top of that line every day. I'm going to go to the top of the hood here, or the bottom of the hood, take my squeegee, take the buffer side and kind of just define that edge. And then I'm going to come in at an angle to the bottom of the hood and then trim slightly. So it gave me a split where it'll drop down to the bumper and then roll the bottom of the hood. And so now we have the bottom or the top of the bumper here. So this rolls over a little bit so we can get rid of our excess that we have here. Take my hard card, roll those wrinkles out. Lift gently, you want to cut flush to the bottom here.
How do you like that Pro Glide squeegee?
Man, I love this program. I like the firmness of the card, and then even just the suede itself is always nice and smooth, especially when you add a little bit of water to it. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for coming. Come back again.